Mr. Director, worry not. We'll make sure your agency is adequately funded. This judge you arrested in Wisconsin, she was breaking federal law, wasn't she?
Yes, that's why we arrested her.
She was helping an illegal immigrant escape being taken into custody. Is that right?
Yes, and the field agents decided to open the case, work the case.
And as Americans, do we get to pick and choose which laws we want to follow?
We do not.
If you're a state court judge, do you get to decide you don't want to follow federal law?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, patriots across this great land, welcome back to the channel. If you love this country, believe in the Constitution, and are sick and tired of lies, cover-ups, and double standards infecting our government, hit that like button and subscribe. You're going to want to hear every word of what I've got to say today. I just watched the Bombshell Senate hearing, where Senator John Kennedy grilled Kash Patel. And let me tell you, it wasn't just entertaining. It exposed a rot that's been festering at the heart of our justice system for years. From corrupt FBI officials like Strzok and Lisa Page to the convenient death of Jeffrey Epstein and the cover-up of Hunter Biden's laptop, this hearing laid it all out, plain as day. And I'm here to break it down, not just with the facts, but with the truth they don't want you to hear.
And if you violate federal law, you get arrested, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
That's called equal treatment under the law, isn't it?
Yes, Senator.
You remember Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. I think Ms. Page worked for Justice. The Inspector General found in its investigation that they hated President Trump and they really wanted Secretary Clinton to win. Is that true?
That's correct, sir.
And this would be the same same Ms. Page who sent an email to Mr. Strzok with whom she was having an affair. Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right? And Mr. Strzok with the FBI, senior official at the FBI replied, quote, no, he won't. We'll stop it. Did I read that correctly?
You did, Senator.
Okay. Now, Ms. Page got quit before she could get fired. Mr. Strzok was fired. And predictably, they filed a lawsuit because in Washington, it's easier to divorce your spouse than it is to fire a federal employee. Why did the FBI give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 to settle a lawsuit?
Senator, I do not know that settlement was reached in the prior administration.
Who made the decision?
The prior Department of Justice.
Who in the prior Department of Justice?
The settlement for that kind of case can only come from the Attorney General, which would be Attorney General Merrick Garland.
So the Attorney General decided to give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 after they were fired after actively interfering in the 2016 election. Is that right?
My understanding is that was a settlement they agreed to.
Pass me the sick bucket, please. The Hunter Biden laptop. In October of 2016, shortly before the election, the New York Post wrote a story that was widely covered talking about Mr. Hunter Biden's influence peddling scheme based on his laptop. A couple of weeks later, Secretary of State, soon to be Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, organized a group of 51 so-called intelligence experts. Had some real rock stars on the list. Jim Clapper, John Brennan, Michael Hayden, Leon Panetta, and they said, oh, no, the story in the New York Post is not true. It's based on Russian disinformation. You remember that?
I do, Senator, as the lead investigator for Russiagate for the House Intel Committee.
Yeah. The FBI had the laptop for 10 months, hadn't they?
They did, Senator.
So the FBI knew right before the election that it wasn't Russian disinformation, didn't they?
And that was Confirmed by the Inspector General's report.
Yeah. Who at the FBI refused to let the FBI tell the American people the truth?
I don't have that name in front of me, sir.
Well, would you look?
I will, sir.
I'd like to know. I'd like a name, not a division. I'd like the name. Person with a brain and a beating heart.
Yes, sir.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Kash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Reid.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Director. As you're well aware, DOJ.
So, first up, Senator Kennedy confronts a director about a state judge in Wisconsin who got arrested for helping an illegal alien evade federal custody. Now think about that for a second. A judge, someone sworn to uphold the law, helping someone break it. And thank God the federal agent stepped in and arrested her. That is what equal justice looks like. That's what the left doesn't get. Law and order ain't optional. Kennedy asks a crucial question. Do Americans get to pick and choose which laws to follow? The answer, of course, is no. But what we see from the left, from sanctuary cities to activist judges, is a deliberate attempt to undermine the rule of law. They're choosing politics over principle, and it's destroying the integrity of our justice system. Now we get into the swamp. You remember Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, the lovebirds, who were plotting to stop Trump from ever becoming president? Their texts were disgusting. Strzok literally wrote, "We'll stop it," in reference to Trump winning the election. That's not just bias. That attempted election interference from inside the FBI. Now brace yourself, because it gets worse. These two clowns, after being exposed, fired, and disgraced, got combined $2 million in settlement money. Taxpayer money, folks. Yours and mine. Why? Because the DOJ under Merrick Garland decided to quietly pay them off. Is that justice, or is that hush money? Next, Kennedy brings up the laptop. You know, the one Hunter Biden's laptop, full of emails, evidence of corruption, and maybe even criminal activity. The FBI had it for 10 months before the 2020 election. They knew it was real, and yet they stayed silent. Why? Because it would have sunk Joe Biden's campaign, that's why. And then comes the icing on the cake. Anthony Blinken, now Secretary of State, helped orchestrate a letter from 51 so-called intelligence experts claiming the laptop story was Russian disinformation. Brennan, Clapper, Hayden Obama's guys. It was a political psyop, plain and simple. They lied to swing the election. Kennedy wants names, not departments, not divisions, actual human beings who decided to suppress the truth. And he's right to ask. We need to know who made the call to protect Hunter Biden and manipulate an election. These people should be fired, prosecuted, and barred from public service for life. And then comes a question that everyone has been asking for years. Did Jeffrey Epstein kill himself? Senator Kennedy point-blank asks Kash Patel. Patel says Epstein hung himself. Do I believe that? Absolutely not. The guards were asleep, the cameras were off, and this guy had dirt on half of D.C. If you believe it was suicide, I've got oceanfront property in Kansas to sell you. Kennedy asks when we'll see the files. Patel dances around at DOJ review, protecting victims. Blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. The American people deserve the truth. We want every name, every file, every video. This isn't just about Epstein. It's about a corrupt elite protecting their own, no matter the cost. So let's recap. A rogue judge, corrupt FBI officials paid off with hush money, a suppressed laptop, an election manipulated by intel officials, and a dead pedophile billionaire whose secrets are still locked away. If you don't think our system is broken, you're not paying attention. This hearing proves what we've known for years. We have a two-tiered justice system. One for them and one for the rest of us. But Patriots, here's the good news. We're awake now. We're asking questions. We're demanding answers. And we're not going away. If you stand for truth, for justice, and for America, subscribe to this channel. Share this video. Let's shine a light on the corruption and remind Washington, we the people are still in charge.